Hi everyone, welcome back. Welcome to another mini reading. I'm doing this mini reading because, as you guys know, I have not been feeling very well and I have been called to just rest, sleep, sleep, sleep. But if you guys have listened to my daily energy draw or some of the collective messages that I've been doing, that rest is important and we have all been feeling that. The rest is because there's so much activity that is occurring right now in the astral realms, in dream state and meditative state, just energetically. And so our bodies are kind of catching up, especially since, if you're feeling this, since the 1-1 portal. We have a lot of other cosmic events, a lot of other gateways that we've been moving through this month in January. And so a lot of light codes are coming in, a lot of shifts are taking place, a lot of our own self and structure and DNA and cellular structure and frequency vibration is being upgraded right now, and that takes a lot of energy. And so our physical bodies are kind of catching up and being called to rest. Also, hydration, especially with filtered water, is incredibly important right now. That's been a message that's been coming in for me for the past several weeks. Hydration and rest might be really important for you. And actually, as I was pulling these cards, that was the energy that I was getting for the divine feminine specifically. And a lot of it has to do, I'm understanding now looking at this spread, because the masculine energy, either the masculine energy within you, the masculine energy on the planet, which we are transmuting for the collective as well, or or the masculine counterpart, it's all connected. It's all one. It's all the masculine energy here is having a massive breakthrough, or is about to have a massive breakthrough. So let's get started here. I am going to record this for both Instagram and YouTube. And if this cuts off over on Instagram, make sure that you do check out my YouTube channel for the full reading. Okay, so we're going to start with the Divine Masculine, and here's what's really interesting. These were the first three cards that I pulled. We have Unfinished Symphony, we have Round and Round, and we have a Change in the Wind, and this to me is indicating a massive breakthrough that is occurring. The Unfinished Symphony and the Round and Round feels like karma that is clearing, and that was a huge push, or I should say the 1-1 portal was a huge push for this karma clearing. Now, it might have felt, Divine Femmes, you might have felt this as well, but the masculines might have felt like they've been in a pressure cooker for the past 6 months. The Spirit's actually even saying even longer than that for those who have been in resistance to their own transformation, to recognizing their own light. And it's because they're about to have this breakthrough. And the pressure cooker, it's the energy of a diamond is forged in the fire. And that's exactly what this feels like. They've been in this pressure cooker because they have been resisting change. They've been learning how to surrender to this transformation. This is the phoenix that is being reborn. They have had to crumble. They've had to surrender. They've had to be on their knees in seeming defeat in order to recognize the strength within themselves, in order to rise into their own power, not corrupted power, not manipulative power, not the power of social conditioning or where we have been for centuries on this planet, the unconscious power. This is the conscious recognition of self, of the soul self. This is the conscious divine masculine that is learning how to stand up. But first, it's like they were brought to the very depths of themselves and looking at themselves. Before they can honor themselves, they had to look at themselves, really go deep within and clear out all of that karma. So they were put in this pressure cooker and they have been releasing so much karma for themselves, past lifetimes, this incarnation, a lot of mother wounds coming up to the surface to be healed as well. And so this round and round, they might have been going round and round in circles. That's part of the resistance, where they were not letting go of change, or of old mindsets that needed to be changed or needed to be shifted or needed to be transformed, old beliefs that they were just clinging to. And I'm actually seeing this image of a child clinging to his mother's skirts. And so it's this analogy again of the mother wound coming in, the mother figure, whoever that is. Remember, you can always connect to Mother God Source, Mother Earth, the first feminine energy, the first divine feminine energy. But we get so distorted when we're coming into this incarnation with all, our ancestral stuff, all that soul gunk, everything that we carry, especially when it comes to how we have previously viewed feminine energy, the mother energy. And so it's almost like they're clinging to the skirt of the mother of the, not the original mother, the not the divine mother, but the within the mother figure within the first incarnation, the authority figure as the mother. And that is them holding on to a belief. That is them holding on to who they were. That is them holding on to their identity, their ego. Again, it's an analogy, it's a metaphor, but it's almost like they're going round and round and round in their mind, in their patterns, beliefs, conditionings, trauma, pain patterns. And that is just keeping them stuck in this cycle of an unfinished symphony. But they're about to break through this. There is a change that is underway here. Because remember, God's source is leading the charge in all of this. And the more they connect to the God source within themselves, the more they honor that, the more they're going to allow themselves to shift out of this old energy. But it has taken them to the point of surrender. I saw the card come to the edge as I was shuffling, and that's what it is. They've been brought to the very edge of themselves. I do feel like we've been picking up on that energy over the past couple of years, and I think that I've done a couple of readings of sacred union energy updates based on that energy. So feel free to take a look on my YouTube channel in my playlists, because I do feel like we have channeled that quite a bit, but this is that point. This is like the point of no return here. What's is also interesting, I want to continue with the Divine Masculine here. This is the card that we got for clarifying energy, Angel of Joyfulness. Something wonderful and magical is about to happen. This is the breakthrough. This masculine energy has been circling and circling and circling and just repeating patterns and patterns and patterns and patterns. And it's almost like, what will it take for the shift to occur? Well, it's this. It's at the brink. It is at the point in time and space where it is necessary to move. So anyone who had been in that place of resistance is not going to be able to resist any longer. This is the ultimate surrender. And remember, the planet as a whole is ascending. And so as the vibrations and the frequencies of the entire planet lift, we have no choice but to lift with it eventually. Everybody is on their own path in their own time, but the vibrations are lifting and it has no choice but to lift with it. And so that's the pressure cooker that they've been in. They've been feeling this change. They've been feeling this transformation, but their ego is trying to kind of hold them back in their comfort zone. It's trying to hold them back into what they know, into the safety and the security. Again, I'm seeing the mother skirts, the analogy or the metaphor of the mother skirts, and a little child is hiding behind the mother skirts. It's time to come out. It's time to recognize yourself as the grown-up and as the child. It's time for the inner child to recognize themselves as a child of God's source, as a child of the universe, and as the mature sovereign being that they are. It is one and the same. You are all. You are all aspects at the same time. That is the multidimensional aspect of yourself. That is the multifaceted aspect of the soul self. And so it is time to ascend. It's time for the masculine to really rise, and there is a huge change that is coming. Over here for the Divine Feminine, I feel like Divine Feminine has been in this kind of surrender place as well, but it's almost like a void kind of energy. She's been in this energy of suspension, this energy of like this hermit energy. Especially if you have been called to just rest, if you've been in this hermit energy, you've been called to solitude, it's because it's almost like you're in that egg. It's an egg of protection. You have this shield of protection around you in order to protect your peace. The peace that was hard won, that was hard fought, that took you everything to get to your own transformation. This is what this was. So you're in this kind of place of hermit energy. You're in this kind of solitude. You're in this this egg. And as you're in this kind of protective mode, you're actually building more. Again, there's a lot that is happening energetically that we might not be able to see just yet, but you're receiving a ton of insight, a ton of downloads, a ton of upgrades, a ton of wisdom. You are clearing a lot of energy as well. And the confusion might be coming from that void like energy. You might be asking yourself, okay, what is this all about? Why am I in this void like energy? That might be creating some more confusion, but it will all become clear. The building blocks, you might not be able to see how it is all connecting right now. You might not be able to see where it's all leading right now, but that's because you're clearing a lot of illusion. You're shifting and sifting through a lot of illusion. And that's because there's a lot of illusion that is coming up to the surface right now. So you being called to take a step back is you in a kind of a supportive, protective mode. And that spirit is really protecting you, supporting you by shielding you from a lot of the bullshit that might be experienced within the collective right now, or even with regards to your divine masculine or your masculine energy if you're in a sacred partnership. So, what comes from this? The egg breaks open and there is new life. You are transformed. You've been going through this transformation for the past several months, past several weeks, but now it's almost like what I'm hearing is like the conclusion of this. And we have down here at the end of the reading, we have a fiery climax approaches. And yes, that's exactly what this is. There are endings and new beginnings that have been taking place. We've been in this transition energy for a while now. And I really do feel like with the 1-1 gateway, just saw 1111 on my timer here, marking that new beginning. With that 1-1 gateway, there was a new beginning that took root, and that is now being anchored in. Again, you're in this kind of protective period because there's still so much energy, so much illusion that is being broken through right now, and you're kind of in this it's cocoon. That's what it is. You're in this kind of cocoon like energy as this is happening. And that's for your own well-being, that's for your own energetic protection. Again, you're still getting upgrades, you're still getting downloads, you're still getting insight, you're still getting a ton of light codes that are coming in for your own journey, for your own healing, but things are being put into place that you might not be able to see just yet. And it's all going to break wide open in this beautiful energy. This is actually a really beautiful energy that's coming through for the divine feminine. It does feel peaceful. It does feel like there's peace, there's harmony, there's love on the other side of this. And you might be feeling that. Even if you're in this kind of cocoon-like energy, you might be feeling peace. You might be feeling joy. You might be feeling that among some periods of confusion. And that is okay. That you're meant to be in this cocoon energy right now. Don't fight it. Don't resist it. Just surrender to it and allow it, because it's not going to be like this for long. There is momentum that is coming. All right, if you're watching on Instagram, go ahead and head over to my YouTube channel for the rest. Okay, if you guys are on my YouTube, we're going to continue here. So I'm using my own deck. This is my Ascension Connections deck, where we're looking at the ascension journey. Because remember, even if you're in a sacred partnership, it's all about ascension and growth and expansion. So we're looking at what is the divine masculine experiencing on their ascension journey right now. What is the raw and the real that they want to share? And they're saying that my whole world feels like it's crumbling around me. And that's exactly what happens. Exactly what we were saying. This is that pressure cooker. Again, it's like they're being brought to their knees. They are being brought to the deepest parts of themselves. This is the diamond being forged in the fire. This is the phoenix that first crumbles to ash in order to be reborn. Because then we have, I choose peace over pain and joy over suffering. The pain and projection are not my true nature. This is them recognizing that they have a choice here, that they can choose peace. They can choose joy. They don't need to suffer. They don't need to be in pain. This is what is shifting within them. This is the mindset and the pattern and the belief that needs to shift within them in order for this transformation, this change in the wind to take root, in order for that karma to clear, that unfinished symphony to be cleared. And so they're beginning to recognize that this isn't who I am. This pain, this projection, this lashing out, this toxic energy, this trauma response, that's not truly who I am. And so they are beginning to realize that that is part of what is creating this shift. And as we get closer into the tarot here, you'll see that there is a tower moment that is coming in that is going to assist with this shift. over here for the divine feminine, we have I'm still grieving my old life, and that's part of that cocoon energy, that transition energy she's been in, where she has been letting go of the past, clearing the past. And so she might not be able to see where this is heading. She might not be able to see what the future has in store, and that might be causing a little bit of anxiety, uncertainty, and fear for her. And that might cause her to want to retreat back to her old life, where she is still grieving the old version of herself. But there's a higher sense at work here. She has this faith, she has this knowing that she has been transformed, and who she's transformed into is better than what it was. Her physical life might not necessarily be mirroring that quite yet, but that's the cocoon energy, that's the transition energy, that's the hermit energy that she's in. That's what she's not able to see right quite yet, but it will. Slowly remembering the beautiful soul that I am. This is her recognizing the transition. This is her recognizing the transformation that she has been through, and that her physical world has no choice but to ultimately reflect that. And again, it might not be reflecting that quite yet. Again, there are still things that are aligning. There are still things that are being put into place. I do encourage you guys to check out all the sacred channelings on Susan Dawn Ascension Connections, including sacred integration, as well as the sacred union energy updates that speak about separation, especially if you've gone into separation with your counterpart, or even if you felt separate from yourself. There was a purpose for all of this. It was because new life needed to align. The physical life needed to align to the new version of you. You might not be able to see all of it quite yet, but again, those building blocks are energetics, energy that is being aligned for you, and you are building a firmer, better, much more stable foundation here. Okay, so then I pulled some tarot cards. Interesting for the divine masculine, we have the Devil and the Tower card that came out together. And then we had Judgment, because I asked what was on the other side of the Tower. We have Judgment and we have the Four of Wands. So with the Devil and the Tower, I feel like the Devil is that old attachment to mindsets, to patterns, to trauma, to coping mechanisms, to addictions for coping, for comfort. It's all the ego stuff. That's what the Devil really represents here. It represents the ego, where divine masculine is waking up to the soul of himself, really feeling into the soul of himself. That's the transformation that they are going through right now. They're going through a heavy, massive ascension here, a massive transformation on their ascension journey. And so the masculine is experiencing that release of the attachment to those patterns. That is the shift that we spoke about, the transformation that we spoke about. Again, it's that child that's hiding behind, whatever it is that makes them feel comfortable, that makes them feel safe. Well, the Tower is coming in, the Judgment card's coming in to say it's time to rise up. It's time to recognize your connection to God's source. It's time to recognize the soul of yourself, and that you don't need to hide behind anything anymore. You don't need to seek comfort in the false matrix, in the false paradigms, in the false conditionings. You don't have to hide. So this Tower moment is coming in to bring through a breakthrough. And what does it bring? But the Four of Wands, which is stability, which is joy. Again, that joyfulness energy, joy, stability, celebration. But I'm really getting from the Four of Wands just this anchored in energy, this union energy of self, just this feeling of security and stability. It's a beautiful energy. And this is with the divine feminine as well, because this is them feeling stable and at union within themselves. And so that is naturally going to reflect in their relationship with their counterpart. For the divine feminine, we have the Hanged Man, and this is the suspension energy that we were picking up on. This is that kind of surrendered energy, the cocoon, the hermit mode, the time kind of feels suspended is what I'm hearing. And that's because of this Temperance energy. There is a balancing out. There is, again, things being aligned. This is also inner union. She's really anchored into her inner union. And part of the reason for this energetic quote unquote suspension, this hermit energy, this solitude, this cocoon, this cosmic egg protection, however it is that you want to put it, the reason for this is because she is anchored into her inner union. And so nothing disturbs that right now, because it feels a little bit fragile. And so she's doing a lot of healing to maintain that energy, to maintain that union within her, so that nothing breaks her from that connection to herself, to God's source, that doesn't create separation within herself again. And so what's on the other side of this is the Six of Swords. It is calmness, harmony. It is moving into more security, more stability. Again, stability for the masculine, stability for the feminine, balance. So this period is just a period. That's all it is. It's just a transition. It is not going to last much longer. I do feel like the energy is going to shift on the other side of January into February. Okay, so then I pulled some cards of guidance for the divine masculine and the divine feminine, and we got here, I pulled another card. Nope, that was that. Okay. We have step out of your comfort zone, and that's exactly what we were saying here. It is step away from the things that you thought you needed protection, that you thought were protecting you, because the only thing that protects you is your connection to God. And when you are protected by God, when you're connected by God, you recognize that you are fully supported because you are one with God, because you are one with the universe. So step out of your comfort zone from the old resources or the old coping mechanisms or the old addictions or the old tools that you had, and welcome to ascension. I'm hearing welcome to ascension, welcome to the new tools of the soul. Step out of your comfort zone of what you thought you knew. Allow it all to crumble so that you can begin anew as the soul self. Wow, powerful message there. For the divine feminine, we have prosperity lies ahead and work through your fears. So take this time. This is what's building here. This is what's aligning this prosperity, this abundance. But take this time when you're in this cocoon, when you're in this kind of protective hermit mode, to keep working through your fears, through your beliefs. There might be some old stuff that's cropping up, some old soul sludge and soul gunk that's cropping up, or beliefs that's coming back around, especially as we move into Mercury retrograde. But I'm hearing for both counterparts, who you are on the other side of Mercury retrograde is not who you are as you enter it. Then for the union energies, I decided to pull one card for guidance for the both of you, and we have a fiery climax approaches. So there is a lot of movement that is going to be coming in, endings that are taking place, but it's not so much endings within the physical world this time. This feels like transformation within the self. All right, guys, make sure that you book with me for the 2022 year ahead reading, or any reading. I am now 2 weeks out. I'm hoping to catch up by next week, so make sure that you get your bookings in if you'd like a reading within the next 2 weeks. I am sending you guys so much love, so much light. We'll be back with some more collective readings next week, and we'll see you then. Bye.